All right. What up? It's your boy Subtractem here, back at you again with another Path of Exile 3.20 new and changed gems in Path of Exile. Post on the forums, yada yada. Who cares? Let's go. What's going on? New gems. Let's take a look. All right. So at level 20, Vaal Cleave. Don't start Vaal Cleave. Do not start Vaal Cleave, please. Vaal Cleave has 400% effectiveness. Let's see. It can store 3 uses, which is pretty sick. 4-second soul gain prevention, 80% attack speed, and then 400% effectiveness of added damage with about 90 added damage total. Those are big numbers. That's going to hit really hard. That is going to hit really, really hard. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Vaal Cleave. You're still playing Cleave. God damn it, Zeus. This is not the time. This is not the time, Zeus. Zeusy. Come on. All right, now you gotta pay cat tax. Now you gotta pay the cat tax. Zeus. All right, here you go. Kitty cat. Zeus says don't start Vaal Cleave. Do not start Cleave. All right, next up, Vaal Molten Strike. So regular Molten Strike is 185% effectiveness. Vaal Molten Strike, which was confirmed to shotgun, chains. Oh wow, they're just bringing back. Vaal Molten Strike is just old Molten Strike. It chains and it has +8 projectiles. Can't be evaded. Really interesting. 20% increased fire damage. Everything else looks the same. Projectiles can chain when impacting. Do not change direction when chaining. So they always chain in a straight line. If you want to play old Molten Strike, you just play Vaal Molten Strike. Fair enough. Vaal Smite can store 2 uses, 6-second lockout, 430% effectiveness. No, don't die. Don't die. 430% effectiveness. Let's see. Let's look at the numbers on the aura. Adds 50% more flat damage. And strikes 30 targets, aura makes, and you get +1 strike targets also from the aura, which is pretty cool. And the base duration is 8 seconds. So the base duration of the Vaal Smite aura is longer than the soul gain prevention. Whoa. Yeah, 50% attack speed is going to feel bad. But you're going to be able to keep that bigger aura up for even longer. For like basically 100% of the time. Yeah, cap of 30 targets is kind of feels bad. Volcanic Fissure. 220% effectiveness. Can store 1 use. Fires 8 proj. We already saw this. It erupts 5 times. It says that it's like it doesn't work for single target. It'll just go to a random location after the original target. So it can only target 1 monster once. Slam the ground. When it reaches a target, it erupts. Continues moving. My question here would be like, can you make it faster than it looked in the video? It looked really slow. It was slower than a running character with a Quicksilver Flask. So I was a little worried about that. But for like a really high density map, could be really good. Let's see. Blade Flurry. 320% attack speed, 343% effectiveness. Holy shit. Channel to create an expanding circle that blinds enemies within it. When you stop, it deals damage in a smaller area around each enemy in the circle. It's only for clear. Okay. Same flat added damage. Blind enemies can't be evaded. Increased blind effect. 50% less damage taken while channeling. It doesn't say anything about attack speed channeling and the speed that the circle goes. I assume the circle will expand faster with more attack speed. Channeling stops when it reaches a radius of 90. So we saw the max radius. Okay. In the video. Okay. If you want to stand still and do that. Okay. Oh, this is what I cared about. Okay. Vaal Caustic Arrow can store 2 uses. Yeah, like these are all skills that I just like. Smite, I kind of like Smite, but the rest of these, I just will never use them and I don't care. All right, Vaal Caustic Arrow, what I actually care about. Let's see. So base Caustic Arrow damage is 1900. Vaal Caustic Arrow is 4,600 with a base duration of 6. So with any scaling, you're going to make that thing last really, really long. Okay. And then we don't care about effectiveness of added damage or anything. But I mean, 400% effectiveness is a lot. If you want to do like on-hit Vaal Caustic Arrow, but I don't care about that. 4,600 base chaos damage per second is insane. I don't care about the added damage. That doesn't matter for the dot. That's huge. That is huge. Flicker Strike. 30 souls per use, can store 1 use, 300% attack speed, 200 exact same effectiveness. Okay. So it just gets faster? And, oh, and it generates frenzy charges, which, like, kind of who cares? Okay. All right, Venom Gyre. This is, Captain Lance's cooming. Same effectiveness. Creates already caught projectiles without firing them first, both immediately and over a secondary duration. They spiral out. Base duration is 12 seconds. Secondary is 6 seconds. Same conversion, 40% poison. Catches 50 projectiles. Creates 15 per second. 40% chance to keep. Okay, so it is exactly what it looked like. It is just generate and hold on to like up to 50 charges now instead of 30. So this is a very smart Vaal skill, actually. I think it's a great companion to the base Vault Venom Gyre. I think that's pretty cool. Frozen Legion at level 20. Goes up to 280% effectiveness. I mean, that's a big number. The cooldown time. What changes? It looks like area of effect for the quality. That's all that matters, so that you get 0.5 area effect per quality. So it doesn't change the cast time or the cooldown time. I was really worried about that. Yeah, if it doesn't change the CDR, I think this thing's DOA. Outside of, some burst damage or something, but it's definitely not a primary skill that you would start with. Volcanic Fissure. We already looked at Volcanic Fissure. So it gets increased fire damage for the quality. Effectiveness goes to 185. That's good. That's really good effectiveness, though. It's pretty solid. Cursed Ground Support. Let's see. Gets skill effect duration for quality. And then the duration goes up for levels. Okay. And then Hex Bloom gets increased duration and then Hex Transfer range. So I really want to test Hex Bloom, but what is the interaction and priority between Hex Bloom and Profane Bloom? Because if the order of operations doesn't go exactly how we like, it'll just be kind of like you won't be able to proliferate explosions. But if it blooms before the Profane Bloom, there's a lot of potential there. Vaal Ancestral War Chief modifiers to Tome Duration also apply to the skill Soul Gain Prevention. Okay, a little sad. Vaal Lightning Strike, remove 20% increased damage. Battle Mage's Cry added the trigger. Oh, I wonder if that really changes anything. Added projectiles deal 50% less damage with hits and ailments. Removed less damage. Okay, that's fine. Punishment. We already knew this one. More duration, and then it loses 20% damage over time. Yep. Smite gets a new paragraph. Let's see. Each target can only be hit once by this skill. Doesn't Smite currently double hit if you do it right? So this is a pretty huge Smite nerf, right? Ooh. And then Vulnerability. This is the readjustment that we knew about. Frostblades. Frostblades gets a lot more effectiveness. Is that enough to make the single target good? I don't know. Lightning Strike got hit hard. And the Enchant hit it really hard. Special Helix got hit really, really hard as well. We'll see how many people play that skill. Temp Chains, we know about the readjustments. Venom Gyre gained the duration tag. Oh. Maybe especially for Vaal Venom Gyre, right? Yeah, if you want to play around with some duration tag stuff. The big thing here is if you have a corruption that has socketed duration gems, that's big. That's really good for gem levels. Withering Step, we know about this big nerf. You can't Wither Step if you have Elusive. This feels bad, honestly. This feels pretty rough. I think that's just going to feel really, really clunky. It puts it in the category where, like, I'm already using it only for Withering stacks. This is just really bad for poison, like, assassins, right? Particularly, like, this hurts really, really bad. Because poison assassins, like, you might not be abusing Nightblade, which is primarily what this nerf is oriented at, but you might still want to be using Withering Step for applying your Wither stacks. That's going to feel bad. I think that's a little rough. Yeah, like, the big thing that, like, what I would have changed here is you could still cast Withering Step, but it just wouldn't refresh Elusive, right? Because then there's no more Nightblade abuse, and you still are able to cast a spell, right? I think that would be, that's what I would have done. Remove Elusive entirely from Withering Step, right? Bane. Yeah, I know. Connectivity, regular cursory works. Despair is they're removing all of the damage over time, and now it's just a flat minus 30 chaos res. This is going to hurt pretty bad for poison builds. This really doesn't affect a build that gets max Wither stacks all the time for free anyway, because we already have so much increased damage taken. But for a regular poison build that, might not be dependably, basically non-occultist, this will sting them a little bit. Ally weakness, these are just like the regular reworks. Enfeeble is going to be stronger on bosses. All of these things got retuned. Basically, mapping, you're going to be doing less damage, right? You're going from 44 to 36. But, if we just want to do a little bit of the math, previously with 66% less, it would be 44 times 0.34. You'd actually only be doing, it rounds down. That sucks. It would be 14% less cold res. Whereas now, that modifier is not there. You're going from 14 to 36. So that is a huge, huge bossing buff. So, you combine Ally weakness, which you're going to be getting 30 instead of 14. So you're getting another 16 here and then another 16 here. Like, you're going to be minus 30 something res in addition now on bosses, which will be very, very noticeable, which is pretty sick. Hex Blast got, like, super reworked. People will still play it. Like, I think with, like, traps, mines, totems, whatever, you'll still be able to do it. The one thing that kills it for me is 1 second cast time feels really bad. It was 0.6 before, which was like, okay, I can cast that. 1 second, it feels like you have to invest into a good amount of cast speed to make it not feel like 1 full second for a cast is god awful. Like, I'm not going to play a slam spell. Lightning Conduit got giga, like 30% less damage. Honestly, more than 30% with the effectiveness here. Probably still playable, but definitely not going to be a standout skill. Added 0.5 seconds while channeling a lightning skill. Oh. Does Orbital Storms work with totems? Stormburst totems with the Orbital Storm might be kind of cool if that does work. Yeah, with tendies, or you can do tendies. Shockwave support. Attacks used by things other than you. That's the new line right here. Oh, that's just them trying to not say like totems, or they just want to make it, a little bit simpler. Blasphemy got I got 25% less effect. But it got more area of effect. This is actually pretty notable. 20% increased AoE. It's pretty cool. Hex Touch. Whatever. Oh, the duration went down to 21% reduced. Doesn't really matter if you're always Hex Touching, but interesting that they decided to, yeah. Impending Doom. Don't tell anybody. I think this is an absolute sleeper right now. Don't tell anybody. Do not tell anyone. Just between me and you guys right now. Shh, be very quiet. I think, like, these are gigantic numbers. I'm a pretty fairy. I'm just going to do my little fairy dance.
It's league start time to prime sub again.
Yo, Kragan, smile. Thank you for the prime. Impending Doom, these numbers are absolutely insane. Like, look at the difference. 1,300 to 24. I know previously you would have Doom mechanics, but, like, I think this is going to be a sleeper. I'm going to be playing with this as soon as I can. Pinpoint, sure, whatever. Pinpoint, they just want to make it only projectiles instead of non-projectiles. So, I mean, this is actually a pretty big nerf for people that were using this for other utility. This is notable. There's a lot of people that are using Pinpoint as an additional more damage, and now it's only for projectiles. So, that's going to be pretty tough. They made Predator work for ailments. That's pretty cool. Awaken Blasphemy, sure, and Awaken Hex Touch. So, it's going to be the same. Okay. Clumsy Parasite. Pog, This will be the best league in years. It's all coming together. Hashtag make Ray Class great again. Hashtag in Chris we trust. Thank you, Clumsy Parasite. Nothing here looked particularly crazy or surprising to me, honestly, except the one thing that I was already excited about. We could tell from the video exactly what Venom Jar was, and there was nothing surprising here at all. No new numbers or anything. Blade Flurry, we have to see what it actually ends up feeling like. It's going to make it good for clear, maybe, if you can make it fast enough. These other ones, this is not my bag of pickles here, so I just can't comment if these numbers look particularly good. Like, I don't know how good 185% of base is on a projectile slam skill. That's just not, I don't think I've ever played a projectile slam skill. Does one exist right now? So like, yeah, I just can't comment on what this is actually going to feel like, right? Until we actually play around with it. But Vaal Caustic Arrow as something that I am very familiar with right now. That's a big number. That's significantly more than double damage on Vaal Caustic Arrow. And the base duration is 6 seconds. So if you could just cover most of the screen with that, that's a number that you can scale to like respectable boss damage by itself, which is insane. I love the Caustic Arrow. The rest of these, a little disappointing about the Frozen Legion, honestly. I really wanted it to affect cooldown time. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, but this doesn't really get me too excited. I want to play around with Hex Bloom a lot. Cursed Ground, it's kind of whatever. We'll see if we can play around with some mechanics there. But yeah, cool stuff. I'm really excited about 320. There we go.